Hi, Beyond Flex. Welcome to Beyond Flex with Sharina. And I am called Sharina. I'm gonna wait for you guys to tune in. So, I was thinking. Hi guys. Hi babies, welcome to Beyond Flex with Sharina, and I am called Sharina. I'm just laughing at something that I just watched that was so crazy. How you guys doing? Hi. Another episode. Today's Friday, tomorrow is Saturday. We're still going to continue with stretching and story time. I actually kind of wanted to change the story today a bit. How you guys doing? Yay! 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 I'm just glad to have you guys over. Who's excited about the story today? We are on solo story. Hi guys, how are we doing? How are we feeling tonight? Ooh, I just uploaded a stretch. Go watch it, yo. You like my nose? Take it from my mom. My shoulders are so tight. I was thinking of doing member stretch and do that. And it actually gets some in here, like, oof, it's already starting to burn. It's already starting to burn. No, I am not a model. I don't I don't have a rapper's name. I don't usually listen to rap. Before though, I had one. It was Eminem. I'll change that. This live is story time. Yeah, story. We are continuing Sorrow's story. A boy called Sorrow. Now he grows, and we don't know where the world sends Sorrow, but yes. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. I woke up today and my body was so fatigued, like, oh, not fun, like everywhere. And I did a stretch to help release all the tension. It didn't do a lot. It was quick, but I had to post it. Okay. Alright. You all ready? I know it's been forever since I last had a massage. I feel like let me say, when I was still back in my country. Since I came here, I've not had a proper massage at all, and I'm sure I need that. That is for sure. Who's excited about Sarah's story? Not a lot left of I know of, and I was excited about actually starting a new story, but I was not sure if you guys want that, so that I pick up on Sarah's story later on. I am not sure about that. Yep, my spine, my chest, my hands. When I stretch my hand like this today, I was like, "Ooh." It was not stretching, it was not going at all. Thank you. How? What did I do? What did I do? Oh my god, no, what did I do? Thank you. So I just posted that because I was feeling so, because I haven't posted in a few days, and I promised that I was supposed to post every single day. Every single day is going to be about yoga, and then the rest of the days we are going to see how the days are going to take us. And that's what I was actually looking up to, not more than that. But I got fatigued and I got extra. So yesterday, yeah, this is why I'm sore. Now that I remember, I've not worked up in days, and yesterday I tried to do some workout. I did a little workout, and then I cleaned crazy because my entire house was a mess. And if you seen my video today, I forgot to clean real quick before I went back into like stretching. So I still like have laundry to clean up and all that. So but I did all that yesterday, and I had to do general cleanings around the house, because I always say a clean house, a clean mind. Yeah, so that's why I posted today, and gonna keep posting, of course. Thank you so much. Okay. Mm. Mm. All right. Let's get right into this episode. So, I have to continue Sarah's story, but I am confused on like where to start from. So I was like thinking, should I actually start a new story? Because I remember Sarah, but I don't quite remember quite well how it ends. And I do not want to say something that I don't remember. So I am thinking, should I continue it? Who was up waiting for the continuation of Sarah? Or should we actually start a new, should I actually tell a new story? What do you guys think? A new story or the continuation of Sarah? Who's here? that has been following up with Sarah. If you're here and you want me to continue with Sarah, I'll do that. But I was going to talk about a different story, and let me clear that up real quick in the live. Let me edit that so that we actually tell you guys this story, okay? Thank you so much. Dancing, I know. So this channel is not about dancing, and I stopped dancing on YouTube for a reason. Each time I recorded dancing tutorials, I could get flagged immediately, and I could also lose monetization, so I totally gave up on that. I like threw it away. Yeah. So okay, so I am going to tell a different story. Because with Sarah, and it's not a lot left for Sarah, I just quite don't remember. So I'm going to ask from the person that I know knows the entire details, and I'll bring back Sarah's story the next episode. But today we are going to talk about a story that you guys are going to enjoy. Actually, it's about a covenant. Let me type that real quick and we get right into it. Our blood covenant. No! Today's not stretch and story time. Today it's just story time. And I promise you guys are going to love the entire story. My whole face is so warm. That's why I'm doing this. It's too hot. As soon as I lock this door, it gets too hot in here. It's not even funny. So what is a covenant? We are going to live today after realizing what a covenant is and what it actually brought in these people's lives, why it was made, and what happened. Okay. Okay, I just edited that real quick. I just worked on that, so let's go. Let's go. I didn't mean to do. Just, why did I do that? I did not mean to do that. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, mates. I'm just excited for y'all. Okay, let me get comfortable. It's crazy. Why? I just remembered blending. Do you remember blending? When we blending and like it going. Hope they don't fuck me on this because these are lives. Okay. Okay. So this story is about a boy. No. A small boy. So this boy comes from a family. No, this is how the story actually begins. You ready? Don't go. Don't say goodnight. It's still early to go to bed. It's bedtime story time. I'm gonna tell you guys a real good story and you might learn something today. So, This boy, once upon a time, there lived a family of a woman and a man. And this family, the man was actually younger than the woman. The woman was an older woman who was in her, she wasn't old, because I always say that if someone is in like their 40s, they're still young, you know. Yeah, they're still young. I feel like saying somebody's old, it has to start at least 100 years old. Because I look at everyone, it looks so cute and beautiful, and I'm like, okay, you know. So I don't think they were old, but the woman was grown in age for the man. The man was like 28 years old, and then the woman was like at least in her 48 to 49 years old. And this man was very poor, so he got married to this woman. The man, it's always a man marrying a woman, but this time the woman was marrying this man, and that's what happens. If you do not have money, you're gonna be forced to get married instead of marrying someone you love. So I'm thinking that maybe this man married because he was poor and he needed somewhere he could like lay down and like find what to do, but like somewhere he can sit. But he came from a very poor family, and then here was a brother who was married to a woman who had married he had married a woman of his choice, and they had children. So they had so many children. They had at least like 3 or 4 children. But then before this boy gets to come on earth, and this is what happened. The uncle, who is the uncle of the child, was married to this woman, and he wanted a child, but the woman could not bear a child because she was older and she had older children. So she had already given birth to children, and they were old in age, they were older, so she could not, give birth anymore. There are people who are lucky that are like, at some, I don't know, when menopause starts and hits people, I feel like it depends. Oh yeah, let's go. Ooh, ooh. Just joking. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. I appreciate like you guys when you give gifts. I love gifts. I'm a gift girl. Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you, Art of War. He usually like comments on every post. I'm grateful for you. Thank you. So let's continue the story. I hope I don't get too excited with gifts and I forget to tell the story, right? So this month, let me not clap my hands. Like each time I go like that, send me text and be like, girl, stop clapping those hands, and I'll stop clapping. I'm really going to be careful. This time I'm like, whoa, don't clap, don't do that. So anyway, the uncle decides that he wants a child, but remember, he's married to a very grown woman who has already given birth to so many children, and she's not willing to give birth. So, but the man wanted a child, but she could not conceive a baby. So, but the man has a brother and a wife, and they already have children, so they were still able to bear children because they were still younger. So this man asked the brother and asked him, can you bear a child for me? Like, can you guys conceive a child and then just like send a child over to me in the city as my child? I want you guys to send the child before they reach their understanding. I want them to grow knowing that I am their guardian, like their dad, and this is their mom, and you're not supposed to say anything. So because they were poor, and it was a request of the brother, so the brother agreed because they were also extremely poor. Like poverty. Like, even the poor called them poor. That's how poor they were, like it was screaming. So the man agreed to conceive for the brother. So they conceived, they did what they do, what people do. Yay! Oh my God, thank you so much. Listen, because I have to be like, yeah. My problem is like I sound the names wrong, but let me try. Thank you so much, Dieter Maud. I'll say that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if I sound it wrong. And listen, y'all do not remind me to put the story time song. We have to have a song in the background. You guys, come on now. Thank you, baby. Thank you for the ice cream. See, I love those things when they pop up on my screen. They make me go crazy. I just like look at them and like, ah! Oh my God. Thank you so much, baby. Thank you for my hot cocoa. And I look hot. I'm a cocoa. Just look at me. Ooh. Let me stop playing, y'all. I have to go back to the topic. So I am looking for the song. Give me a second and be patient with me. I found the one that I actually love. Let me see. Keep talking to me in the comments. I'm gonna be checking the comments pretty soon. Do not lose the track where I've left from. Where the hell is this thing? Okay. It's chilly. You got the blue diva. Just love that. Da 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 da. Hey babies. Alright, let's keep going. Yep. That's it. Chill. Beautiful. I love it. It's my favorite. It's so relaxing. What are you guys saying? Leave me alone. That's my questions. I'm like, hey Lex. Hi baby. How you doing? Alright, let's keep going. On track now. Now I'm locked in the story. So the uncle, the brother gets the wife pregnant, and the woman conceives a baby, and they give birth to a baby boy. And when they give birth to a baby boy, they have to send the baby before the baby actually understands them. So they sent the baby over after a few months of breastfeeding the baby. They sent him over to the uncle and the wife, who was older in age. And when they received the baby, they loved the baby. They took care of the baby like their own. The man really loved the child, and the child comes to earth. So the child starts getting his understanding. He starts to understand. He starts calling them mom and dad. But every holidays, this man, the uncle, could always take back the child to the real parents, so that there is a bond, so that bond is not totally lost. And this boy says he hated that place. So he could call them auntie and uncle, but they were sisters, like they were the biological parents, and he did not know that these were his parents. He thought these were the uncle and the aunties. Ooh, thank you so much. Papa Chanero. I can't even pronounce the name. He's a man, but y'all, he's a man. Okay. All right. So let me chill. Because I'm going to start talking and like going crazy about it. I'm not going to do that. Because I'm going to get flagged, yo. You need to keep me down. I need to keep my voice down too. I'm screaming. Don't kill me. Okay. It's a story time. We changed the story. This had to be another episode of Sorrow's story, but I am not so clear with Sorrow's story. So Sorrow's story is actually going to come back tomorrow. Another episode when it's like more clear and elaborated. So, the boy is always taken back to the parents, but the boy hates the parents so much because they were so poor and the kids had no clothes, like they had holes in their clothes, and their family was so disgusting. It was so poor, like they had not constructed, like they were living in huts. And this boy hated huts so much. He felt like living in huts is so, what is it called? It is so like you're non-protected. And they used to say that like fire breaks out in hut houses. So he could be scared, for one, to come to these people. And he hated them because they were so poor. And his siblings smelled like fish because that's the only thing they could have like in the night. So they smelled like fish, silver fish, not even like salmon, nothing like that, but just like the silver kind of fish that's like stinky, and it's not. He hated the family. He loved to see the grandmother. The grandmother was still alive, so they could go to the grandmother's place and then they could go to the biological parents' place, but he doesn't know that these are his real parents, and the uncle is not actually the dad, but the uncle. But because the uncle actually loved this boy like his own, he could never tell a difference. But with the woman, there was a little bit of difference. You know, when women don't give birth to you, the women who really love genuinely, even if they have not conceived you, but a child they have conceived, they will show a lot of care and you know. So the boy started to grow and grow, but in like hating to go to this, and they had to go every time. So every time they were supposed to go to the village, he could ask, can I stay please? Can I not go there? I do not want to go there. So the uncle, who's the dad, started getting sick. When he started getting sick, they had to take him back to the village because he was going to die. He was not going to make it. So they took the uncle back to the village, and the uncle, before he died, he called for the children. And when he called for these children back home, this boy also was among the children that had to go back. And the uncle spoke to the child and said, you know what? I am not going to make it, but I actually want to show you the truth today. Like, you are not left alone. But before that, before. So this man, actually, the wife later on conceived. She was able to conceive a baby after a while. And when she conceived a baby after a while, she started taking care of her baby more than like takes care of this boy. But he did not like understand that. So at that time, when the man called all the children at home to talk with them, he said, you know what? You are not badly off like your sister. Your sister has only me. I am the real dad and I'm leaving, and then maybe the mom. But you have both parents, and your parents are these people. So the uncle finally shows the child to his biological family, and the child gets angry and he says, how am I born in this poor family? Why am I? So he gets offended and he gets really angry, but he has to accept the word of the dad, and he loved the dad so much. So the that day when the dad spoke to the boy and told him everything, the next day actually the uncle died, who was the dad, and he was taking care of this kid. So this kid was used to city life where like they take care of him, they buy him new clothes, he's under good shelter. He's like, the uncle was taking care of him so well. who was the dad, the foster dad. I'll call him the foster dad, if like that's better to understand it that way. So he is angry because his dad is dead. His foster dad is dead. And he hates this family because each time they came back home, he never loved the family. He could be very angry. He's like, why am I like here? So he could hate them. He didn't want to get close to them. The kids were smelling like silverfish. They were unclean. They had holes in their clothes, and he hated them. But then reality check, he is actually born in this family, and he was just given out to the foster family or the uncle because the uncle could not deliver. But finally, God had remembered him, and he had actually delivered his child before he left. So after the uncle dying, the kid was supposed to be given back to the biological family because the woman said, that is not my child, so I'm just gonna give your child to you. I was taking care of the child because of my husband, but he's gone, so I do not want to, to take care of the child who does not belong to me. So this boy stays over in the poor family, and the first night he enters in the family, and it is a one hut house built in a hut, and grass, covered in grass, and a hut. So he could, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you how huts look like. I'm sure you know how huts look like, but you might be wondering what a hut house looks like when you've never seen it. Okay. Ooh, give me a second. Okay, I got a photo. So it is more like that. Do you see that? Exactly that. So this boy, reality hits him to know and realize that actually I am born in this family, to the parents that I hate because they're so poor, and to these kids that are disgusting and smelling like silverfish. Ew! So he hated it. So that night when they were sleeping, he never slept. He just kept looking at the children. They're all packed in one house, and it's just a small corridor in the house. There's a way they had built it where like it goes to the father and mother's bedroom, and then the kids are sleeping all the way in the living room close to the door. And he's sleeping, and these kids are sleeping. They're used to this life, and he is not. He is crying because he has lost his foster dad, and the foster dad took care of him very well, so that's why he was even in pain. And he said that there were like ants and cockroaches moving around these kids when they're sleeping. They're like snoring, and like ants and insects are moving through the kids, like they're going into them all over their bodies. And he cannot sleep. He's scared. He's like, oh my God. So he doesn't want the ants to walk all over him and the cockroaches. So he's staying up all night. And he started losing weight and feeling unwell because first of all, he's not eating. He has refused to eat, and then he has refused to sleep. So he's losing weight. And the foster and the biological dad and mom, they loved him so much. They loved him so much that the dad kept, like, they could ask, what do you want? And they like try to cheer him up, but nothing, because he's used to a good life. And so they just like left him, but they were like caring. They kept giving him food. He could refuse it, and he could eat sometimes, but he could still lose weight because he's not used to this life. And he does not call the dad. He does not call him dad. He feels like he's not entitled to that title yet. He calls him Dad someone, like one of the kids, like Dad Solomon. Dad Solomon and all that. So he questions himself, and he's like, why are we so poor? Why are we so poor? And The next day he escorts his father to a meeting. And when he escorts his father to a meeting, the father raises a hand to speak, to also give his opinion. And no one is picking him. No one wants him to say anything. And this pissed him off so much because he raised his hand like 1,000 times and no one was picking him. No one was interested in what he's saying. People are not interested to hear a poor man speaking. They feel like you have nothing to tell them. They feel like you have no value because of how you're looking and, you know, everything that comes with your appearance. Usually people respect people by their appearance. If someone comes dressed in like elegant clothes and they're like perfumed up and they sit and they've come driving in a car and there is this meeting, people will always be like, what are you saying? Do you have something to say to us? Even if they have not raised their hands. So that is just how it is. That's why we have to work on ourselves so much. Don't hate people for like treating you the way they treat you. You just pray that you move, you move from that spot of being despised to moving to, a spot where people see you and respect you actually. So that's how people are. And it's the same thing. If you're up here and then you go down, people who respected you up here, they're going to lower their respect for you. Everyone who, was easy to talk to, they're going to start being distant and very hard to connect to because of poverty. But poverty comes from somewhere, because one thing we know is that everyone is blessed. Everyone is born blessed. No one is born poor. No one is born rich. People work for being something in life, If you're lazy up, there are times where you're going to face hardships because of that. But then with poverty, there is a background why there is that harsh poverty behind you. There is a reason for why you're suffering what you're suffering. There is a reason why you're barren. There is a reason why there is that thing that does not go. There is that thing that happens to everyone where like people, the entire city, like something has happened and people are broke because maybe like prices have gone so high and things you're relatable, that's understandable. But these people were in a point of their lives where they were so poor, and this is why. One night they had a ceremony in the village, and people in the village are poor. Someone who's rich is one who has like electricity in their houses. They're considered rich, and they have like cattle, so they give milk. They have like a big plantation and things like that. But they don't have a lot of money, except farmers. Farmers really make a lot of money in the village. So, but these people were so poor that there was a ceremony in the village, and this woman comes over to this man, and this girl had just been brought here by the foster dad who had just passed away. And they asked for the dad to go and start constructing a temporary bathroom for the visitors who are coming from the city to wed from the family. So he comes in the night. When he comes in the night, this is what happened. He comes in the night and he picks this man, and this man works on the bathroom the entire night until 12:30 a.m. in the night. And the child is sitting back waiting for the dad, and the dad is still out with the brother constructing a bathroom, and they were waiting upon them to bring something to eat, and I think it was beans they were supposed to bring home to cook. But time has gone, and these people are waiting for food to come from the dad because there is nothing in the house. And that's just how the way it is. Like I just showed you in the house how it looked like. So they wait, and the mom is waiting with these kids, and then finally the dad comes. So they say they finished the bathroom, and they went to ask this woman for the payment, the reward, which was going to be beans that they were going to eat that night. And when they waited, he knocked on the door to ask the woman for the reward that the woman had promised to actually give. And this is what the woman said: "Get away from my door. I am sleeping. Can't you see I'm sleeping? I'll see you tomorrow." Just after they had worked for at least 4 hours straight. And this is the only thing they had to take back home to eat. And that's why I say someone who's poor is despised. Even someone who promises to give you something, it does not feel like a date. Even when you work hard, they pay you little. Like you work hard. For example, when Jacob met Laban, he had a curse behind of like stealing his brother's title of like entitlement of him being an elder. So he stole the blessing of the brother, and this curse followed him around, that when he even worked, he worked for the woman and they gave him an opposite woman in the honeymoon. It was like the sister, and the Laban was like a more, he was a deceiver. So if you're a deceiver, you're going to meet a deceiver. And this is why I'm saying that these things happen because of a background. Nothing happens just abruptly because God hates you. When situations hit us, we'll be like, I think God hates me. I think God forgot about me. I think everyone is doing well except me. I don't think, you start like questioning and saying a lot of things and like, God hates me. God doesn't love me. God is not looking. No, baby, no. Baby, no. There is something that you don't see. There is something spiritual behind it. So Jacob was given the elder sister, and he was working for the younger sister. In his honeymoon, he opens a veil, and it is the elder sister. He goes to Laban, who is also a deceiver, a master of deceivers. This time he had made his match. He tells him, in our culture, you do not marry a young sister before the elder sister gets married. So yeah, you have to work for the one you want again. He had to work double for the wife. And then even it happened with the cattle, like I explained to you guys in the last previous, he stole also his cattle. But because this curse was following Jacob of what he did in the past. So every time there is that thing that does not leave, there is something behind it. If it's poverty, if it is not conceiving a child, you have to go back to your family and ask your parents, what the hell did you guys do? Ask them for their history. It is not bad. When you fight something it's easy to target it and beat it down. You fight something you do not know, it can actually bring you down. And when you don't fight at all, you're at a loss, period. A loss, because you're not fighting back. So, hi. I am going. Look, I am going. Give me a break. And you're calling me stupid. You're dumb. You're dumb and you have no brains. Look, so don't make me angry. Don't make me come at you because we started this life so good and you're here starting to pink it. That's why you're called a pinky stink. What kind of name is that? You're pink and you stink? The hell is that bullshit? So don't piss me off because I'll come and knock that pink whatever and that stinky ass. So don't come at me. Don't piss me off. Let's go forward. I can drink water. I can relax. I can take my time. If you're tired, get the hell out of your stinky ass. No one cares, Pinky. Why are you so offended? You have a curse too that's walking with you? Just leave, mate. Leave. Alright. Let's continue and leave Mr. Stinky Pinky alone. The name itself shows that he ain't shit. He smells, he hasn't taken a shower, and he is tired. He needs to go take a shower and go to bed because it's time for boys to go to bed. Men are listening to the story and actually picking something, and women. And you, a little boy, you're here wasting time because you're past your bedtime. Go sleep and go take a shower too, because you stink. I can actually smell it from you. All right, I'm just joking, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, let's continue with the story. So, let me just breathe a little bit. I don't have time for you, pinky stinky, pinky look, I don't have time for you. So, this boy starts questioning. So I was still talking about Jacob, like, that is why what happened to him, because that name actually meant thief. So he actually had to wrestle with God's angel to actually change his name, because the thing was going to follow him, his children, his grandchildren, his great grandchildren, if you do not break the yoke or the curse. So this boy, they come back. When they come back home, they don't have anything. And the woman was waiting, and the child was waiting. They were like, what happened? They were like, she told us to leave because it's late. So she didn't give us anything. She said we'll go back in the morning. So this is what the boy says that pissed him off the most, is that the mom stayed the entire night taking care of the food they had put on the firewood. She kept going back and putting fire on the food so that it does not get cold. So she might have gone out for at least 5 to 6 times just to take care of the food so it doesn't go cold, because that's the only food they had. And then they were waiting for the beans that were going to be given to them in the morning for the hard work they worked for 3 hours straight. So morning comes and they send the boy to go and get the beans from this woman's place. When the boy reached there, they gave him a glass of milk. They gave him a glass of milk to bring back home. She did not give what she was supposed to give. When the boy came back, he said, she gave me a glass of milk. And because he is poor, he could not go and complain. When you're poor, you don't complain. You literally agree and accept anything that comes to you. Whether it is enough, you're just going to take it like that. Whether it is not enough, you're still just going to have to take it like that. So they felt hungry. So when this boy got hungry, he left. He did not say goodbye to them. He left. He left to go to the city to where this woman lived, the stepmom or the foster mom. So he did not even say goodbye to the parents, because he was so angry because of the poverty and how they were treating the dad, how they were treating the family at large, how they were sleeping and cockroaches going and moving around them and ants and everything. So he just left. He didn't say goodbye, and he came to the city to look for the foster mom. So he knew where they lived, so he boarded like a taxi, and people could take you for free, like time back. You could like find cars that are going to the city for a young lad, and they would actually give you a free ride. So they gave him a free ride. They were like, young boy, where are you going? He says, I'm going to Kampala to my mom. They said, okay, does your mom know that you're coming? Yeah, okay, board, let's go. So they brought him to where they could leave him, and then he continued walking until he reached at home. And the foster mom looked at him and was like, what are you doing here? And he says, I can't go back. I need to study because I can't stay there. They don't have anything. So the foster mom, because he had raised this child too, she agreed. And the boy stayed over to the foster's mom's place, and he started going to school. The more he went to school, each time they gave him money. He could save this money. He says he could not buy anything that they tell him to buy at school. He could just save that money so that at the end when he's going back, he can take something for the parents because of the situation they were in. So he could save up that money, could not eat anything, could not buy anything for himself. He could just save everything and then he could just like take it back. So when he went back, he bought a lamp for them, because when he was there, they had a lamp of what is it called? The just light. It does not have like a glass on it. And I am talking way back, not right now. So when you're getting confused, I understand. But people who are older actually understand what I'm talking about. A lamp. I'll show you an old lamp that they had. I don't know if this is even, I don't even see them here. I don't know if they were only back home, but it was just a small lamp that they could light, and they could use it one day and then they could like blow it off, so they could have dinner early so that they go to bed and they can save this paraffin. So they could save it. So when he started saving it so that he can buy them paraffin, and he can buy a lamp that has a glass on. You know that glass they could put on the lamp and then it lights from inside? That kind of lamp. So, and paraffin. So he saved up and he bought that lamp, and then he bought paraffin for the dad, because the dad loved paraffin a lot, because it could light for them in the house and it could help him do tasks in the night. So he saved up and he took that to them, and the dad was so excited. The dad loved this boy so much. Like the love they had was equal. The foster dad, the love he had for the child, and the real dad, they had like the same kind of equal love. But the boy, when he went back to the village, it was even worse. Like the house had broken down, their hut, it had broken down, and they were just reconstructing it, and he got angry again and he did not say goodbye. But before he came back, he had gotten saved. He found some people, like a woman was just like talking about Jesus and his wonders and what he does. And he asked the woman and said, "You guys, you don't preach to us. What did we do? Just tell me, who is this Jesus? What does he do? Can he help me?" And then this woman started telling him the gospel. He said, "Jesus is alive. He will change, the gospel back then, people could preach to tell you the wonders of God, and you could actually see them. These days, most people do that for church. They just do it to get money." So the woman explained the miracles that this Jesus could actually do for this boy. And this boy said, "Okay, you know what? I'll just try that Jesus. Just give him to me. So what do I do?" So the woman, tells him how to actually get saved. He says the words. He does not know how to pray. He does not know how to pray. And he's young. He's like, by then he was like at least 15 to 16 years of age. And when they told him that, he said, "Does Jesus chase away poverty from a family?" And he says, "Yes, he can." He said, "Okay." He said, "I'm going to go back." So, but that night, before he went to the village, he had a dream. And this is the good thing, you see, before he knew anything, he did not have dreams. These dreams did not come to him. So he did not know anything. He did not know how to fight. He did not know how to pray. He didn't even have a solution. He could just get angry and leave without saying goodbye. They would just see him. So after he says that Jesus, and he's a young boy, mind you, you do not have to be old to change your destiny or even to help your family. When David was called to be king, he was still young. He was a shepherd. He was nothing. You do not have to be something to break down a yoke. You do not have to be rich to break down a yoke. And you do not have to be a certain age to actually realize what the problem is in your family. This boy was curious. He was tired. This poverty was too much. They were not eating. They were not drinking. They were sleeping like rats. They were everything bad. They were tormented. Their family was despised in the village. And he says this is what hurt him one day. A young boy had money. And you know, someone who has money can command you to do anything. Even a little child who's like 2 years old can tell you, go brush my shoes, I'll give you 200. And you run so quick because you need that money. A boy can call you and say, come here, I want to slap you. And let me tell you a story. Back at home where I come from, there was this man. He lined drunkards up like poor people. And he says, for one slap, I am going to give you 5,000 shillings. And that's something that can feed you for 2 nights. If like you just buy like a little food that can, you know, it can feed you for a day if you have money, and then you'll have some good lunch. But if you're going to have some bad lunch for 2 days, it can feed you. So it is big to someone who does not have money. When you have money, you do not know what it means to suffer something unless you're actually in the shoes of someone who's actually going through something like that. So these drunkards were lining up for 5,000 shillings. And I was passing there with my mom and we were going to church. And when my mom saw that, she was so angry. She was like, can you imagine? Why would he do that? Can I just give them money? But that's the thing. If someone has money, they can do anything to someone. Some people don't have like humor. They feel like you have to work for every single dime they give you. And sometimes it's a work that degrades you. And when you're poor, and I'll tell you right now, it's not even just about poverty. How you're going to fight this, do not despise any work. Any work that comes to you, do not despise any work. As long as it's work and it's an opportunity, go for it. Don't feel too high to work. Don't feel too high to go and do something that's going to give you money. Let me tell you a secret. A farmer gets $100 and a banker gets $100. That money has the same numbers on it. It's green or it's white, it's the same color. Someone who works in a train, someone like the lowest job, a cleaner, if they're given $100 a day, it is the same $100 that someone who works in the bank or the government actually makes too. It's just that it's high income, but when they are depositing $100, it looks the same. It's just 100. It's not blue, that someone who's rich has a blueprint of 100 and then someone who's poor has a print of green. No, it is the same color. That's what you should learn, that a job is actually important. When you don't have it, that's where the problem is. But when you have any job or any opportunity to work, do not despise that work. Do not despise it. Any work that feeds you, that is gonna put you in a house of your own, and someone is not actually doing that for you, you're doing it for yourself, you need to appreciate that. Respect any work that comes to you if you have no choice. Because you do not want to sit there and someone takes care of you. They're going to step on you, they're going to slap you, they're going to spit on you. And I was telling you, this man started slapping these drunkards because we thought he was kidding. And they lined up, and people have money. They started lining up. Then someone gets a slap, pa, and takes 5,000. And then one of them asks, can I get 2? And he just get, okay, just like pop. And my mom got angry. It was like, can we go? Let's just leave. So we just like moved so fast because it was angry. I laughed at first because it was funny. Because these people were drunk, I was like, how many slaps can I get? And this man was slapping and people were laughing. So it was more like entertainment. But when you look at it, you cannot line someone who woke up in the morning and went and did whatever kind of work they did, and they brought that money back home. You cannot treat them like that. Any work that you do, there is respect on that job, however low or high it is, because it's what fits you. It's what there is respect because you know what I mean. So this poor person, this poor family, we have gone back to the family. This poor family was suffering poverty. I just have to take some water, y'all. Take a little break. Pipe it a little bit down. Alright, y'all. Let's continue. So, this boy sleeps after getting saved, after receiving this Jesus this woman was talking about. And he's young. He's still 15 and to 16. And he dreams. A man came to him and tells him, go and chase a visitor in your father's house. He says, there is a visitor in your father's house. Go chase that visitor out of your father's house. He wakes up in the dream and he says, a visitor? My dad has a visitor? So in the dream, actually, that man says that visitor is why you guys are poor. And he says, there is a visitor who has made us go through all this. We are poor because of this visitor that I've never even seen in our house. So he starts he did not say goodbye to the foster mother. He borrowed some money from a believer in church, and he went to the village, to the father's place, to chase this visitor away. But before he did it, he spoke to the woman, and he says, what do I do if I have to pray, if I have to take this poverty out of my family? And this woman says, there is this thing called fasting. You can spend 1 day without eating. You can spend 2 days without eating in the morning and break off at 6, or even do dry morning and night, and then you eat the following day while you tell God your stories. So he didn't even know how to pray. You don't have to know how to pray to break something from your house. As long as you're dedicated, God looks at that heart and says, okay, he's dedicated, he's ready, you know? So this kid goes into prayer and fasting. So he fasts for 3 days. 3 days he fasts, and then he goes to the village. But he doesn't know anything, like he doesn't know how to pray. So because of the dream, after he fasts, he goes to the village and he says, I am gonna go and chase that visitor in my father's house. When he goes to the village, he reaches in the village, they just see him. He left without saying goodbye to him. And then they see him come back. They are thinking, did he go to his grandmother's place? Because the grandmother was still alive. But he didn't go. He had even actually gone back to the city, and then he has just come back to the village. So he says, he comes back and he looks around the house for the visitor that they told him to chase, and there is no visitor in the house. And he says, you man, you told me there is a visitor in the house. You told me there is a visitor. Where is the visitor in the house? I don't see a visitor. He walks around to see a visitor in the house to actually throw out, and there is no visitor in the house. And then that voice comes back to him and it says, just continue praying. So he does not sleep. He just continues to question God. He doesn't know how to pray. He says, he just started saying, where is the visitor? You visitor in my father's house. To get out of our house. That's what he starts saying. Get out of our house. You visitor in our house. Get out of our house. They told me I have the power to send you out of my father's house. They told me I have the power to send you out of my father's house. Get out, get out, get out. And there is no visitor, but he just continues to say that. And then they give him food, he refuses to eat because he's still fasting. He says, I do not want your food, do not give me food. So he refuses, and these people think he's crazy. They're like, let's leave him alone. So they leave him alone, he continues. So he gets tired because it's nighttime. He came in the evening, it becomes night. When it became nighttime, everyone went to bed. When everyone went to bed, he did not. He was leaning over his father's, in the bedroom of his father. He was leaning over his father's bed, like the door or to the bedroom in the heart. He was leaning over, standing. He's not sleeping. But he's tired. He's exhausted because he hasn't slept. He hasn't ate anything. So he's leaning his head over the father's door, and he hears someone get up in his father's bedroom, and he thinks it's the dad. So he's waiting for the dad to speak to him because he thinks it's the dad. Maybe he's waking up to give him food because he hasn't ate, and he came here and he's like, so he's quiet now. So he thinks that the dad finally is coming to give him some food. And he stays on the door, just standing on the door, and the door opens of the dad. And it wasn't the dad. It was the visitor. It was the visitor, but because it was spiritual, it was waiting for the spiritual time, mostly the night time, where like everyone is asleep, and not so many people are going to believe your story, and not so many people are actually going to help you, and it's spiritual. So for him, he continued telling God that, you visitor, they told me I have the power to command you out of our house, get out of our house. And the visitor came out of the father's bedroom. The visitor walks and comes, so he hears a door open and he stands on the side, and the visitor comes out. To his notice, a giant long man is standing in front of him. A tall creature standing in front of him, and it is rotten, and maggots are coming out of this creature. So it's like a dead body. And because this boy doesn't know yet how to pray, he says, oh, you're the visitor? You're the visitor that is the reason why we've been going through this? Get out! Get out! Get out! They told me you're going to leave today. I have the power to send you out. Get out! I tell you. So he is quarreling. He's not praying. He doesn't know how to pray. He says, get out, get out. And this dead thing that is full of maggots starts laughing at this boy. It starts laughing at him. But no one is hearing, no one is saying anything. And the boy opens his mouth to call the dad, and he says, Dad. So when he opens his mouth to call the dad, the words are not loud, like the voice is not coming out. He's only saying, Dad. So he's calling for help because this thing is scary. So he went in a spiritual warfare that he didn't know, and he didn't know how to pray. But not knowing how to pray doesn't mean that you are standing alone. The moment you accept Jesus, you're not standing alone. There is someone behind you. They are standing with you. They are just waiting for the command. But this boy did not know how to pray. So he just started getting scared. Fear comes. It's natural. We are humans. He starts getting afraid, and he says, Daddy, Dad. And he starts calling to Daddy, but Daddy is not hearing. His voice is not loud enough to call Daddy. So this thing starts laughing and coming close to this boy. And this boy is starting to get scared. Then he remembers, the voice speaks to him and says, remember, you have to call the name Jesus. You have to call the name Jesus. So he said, in the name of Jesus, they told me the name of Jesus is powerful. So he said, in the name of Jesus, you visitor, get out of this house. So he speaks like that because the voice has reminded him of calling Jesus. The moment he says the name Jesus, the door, the front door to their door opens. When it opens, he backs off thinking it is a carnival who had come to pick his dead body, because they are carnivals back in the villages, like time back, and they still exist. These things are spiritual. They go and like they dig up dead bodies and they take them to their homes like carnivals. Like they are called night dancers, and these people are like possessed by like demons to do these things. So he gets scared thinking it's a night dancer, carnival. He has come to pick his dead body, because now he's thinking this is the dead body, because he's coming in the physical world because he doesn't know anything, you know. He has just gotten saved, and he's saying, so he starts to get afraid and back off. Think when the door opened, he backs off thinking this night dancer has come to collect his dead body. So he backs off, and this thing faces to the door, and it turns to the door, and he says that he hears the voice continue calling the name of Jesus and commanding it out. And he says, in the name of Jesus, get out, in the name of Jesus, get out of our house. The dead body starts walking slowly to the road and the door that was open. But this is spiritual, that even if you are in the physical world and you are not in this battlefield, you are not actually to see, like they were not seeing it in the house, they were not seeing it. It lived with them, it dined with them, it slept with them, and it's what was eating them. That's why they were poor, that's why poverty was not living, that's why they were suffocating, that's why they were suffering. And this dead thing starts walking to the door. It walks slowly. He continues, in the name of Jesus, go, get out, and it walks and it gets out. When it gets out, the door shuts itself. When the door shut, he became hungry instantly. And he called them, I want food, I want food. He started crying and saying he wants food, he was hungry. And they came, the parents woke up, and it was close to morning because that was like a whole process. And they came and they gave him some food and he ate. And that day he slept like a baby. But this is the covenant. This is the reason why this thing was planted in their house. This is how it started. He sits down after everything happens. And after everything happened, everything changed. And I'll tell you how things changed. But this is what happened. In that same village, back before the dad was born, and before he was also born, there was two men came to the village. And people knew these men. They didn't know where they came from. These men, the grandparent of this woman, of this man, the granddad of this man, and another man. They came in the village and they were so in love with each other. They loved each other so dearly. They were like brothers, but they made a covenant. And I've always told you guys that a covenant is deeper than a sacrifice. A covenant is close to a sacrifice. It's deeper than a promise. A covenant is greater than a promise. And when I tell you this, the promise was Jesus before he came. The covenant is when he came and he actually shed his blood. That is why we are given a chance. But this is the covenant that these people made. A covenant is greater than a promise. And some of you people are suffering because of a covenant that was made in your families. But you were not there, you were not told, you did not even ask, you're just facing things on your own. So, these two men loved each other. They came to the village and the entire village knew that these two people loved each other. But they make a covenant because they loved each other so much. And this is what they did. They cut each other and they put blood in the glass and they drank each other's blood and they made a covenant that they will love each other until death, and they will never, ever betray each other. That is the covenant. That covenant is deep. It doesn't stop on them. It hunts children. It hunts grandchildren. It hunts great-grandchildren. A covenant is that deep. So, after they made this covenant, they started living together. They built a house together. They paid for a plot of land together, and they started living together. But a time came, as you know, men, and one of them found the love of his life, and he decided to marry. When he decided to marry, he brought the wife at home in the house where they had built a house, and the woman conceived and she was pregnant. When she was pregnant, the grandfather of these boys hadn't found a lover, and he did not have anyone. So this grand man who had a wife and a baby in the womb went out. They were things they were doing, that they used to do different things. So he went out to work with the soldiers, and then he was killed in the mines where they went. When this man was killed, the grandfather of these children decided to marry the wife of the brother whom they had made a covenant with. He married the woman, and the woman was pregnant, and he married a pregnant woman and the baby too. So he married the wife of the brother who just got killed. And remember, they made a covenant. They should never betray each other, and they should never, ever, ever, like, hurt each other's feelings. So in the night after he marries the brother's wife, who's pregnant, he has a dream, and this ghost comes to him and tells him, please, you can stay in our house and have everything of ours. Do not marry my wife. Don't marry the woman I chose, and she is pregnant. Do not marry the woman. So what the grandfather did, because he didn't want the spirit to loiter around him, he went to Tanzania and he found witchcraft to tie the ghost, you know, so that the spirits doesn't. There's some kind of like witchcraft they do to like tie demons and spirits. Like it's I don't know much about that, but they're like things they do. So they gave him that medicine. He brought it and buried it in the house, in their house, the house where these people are living, because this house was generational. Children took over it and grandchildren took over it. So when he sealed this spirit in this house, it stopped coming to them. But this is what happens. The devil, I already tell you guys, Satan cannot fight Satan. He can show you that he is on your side, but he is actually not on your side. He's scheming. So what happened is the spirit stops coming to hunt this man. The woman gives birth to the dead man's son, and then the grandfather also impregnates the woman, and the woman also delivers for the grandfather, and then they give birth to children, who is the father of this man. But the brothers of the father, every time a child grew to fame, they would die young. So all his uncles had actually died. One of them died when he was crossing over a stadium. He just fell into it and he just died because he was arising to something. He was becoming wealthy. So that is where the spirit, I've told you, when the enemy gives you something, if you guys don't know the episode I'm talking about, you can go back and check my episodes. There is an episode where I talk about when the enemy, the snake, when the enemy gives you something, because he is targeting the life force in the future, he is going to take your sorrow away that instant. But Satan does not give what he doesn't have. He doesn't have peace. When he gives you what you ask him, he is going to follow around your life force. That's your lineage, your generation. And when you go back to the story time, I show you like the people who died. And in this covenant, this man succeeded. But then it hunted the children. The children never got any money. They were broke. Each time any of them started getting money, they would die. Each time they started to grow wealthy, they would die. So they died like that. Or they would stay extremely poor, the poverty that we talked about when we were starting this episode. So that was the problem, and that was the visitor in the house. So the father tells this story to the son after the son has found out and has cast the visitor out, after actually Jesus showed him what was behind the poverty. So that was the visitor. So anytime the enemy gives you something, trust me, he is not giving it to you. He is targeting the life force in your lineage. He's targeting your children. He's targeting your grandchildren. And when I talk about the life force, it's the children. When he kills a child who hasn't given birth, he has killed his future. He has killed his purpose. He has killed his children in him that come from these. I'm telling you, that is the life force he's looking for. He will deceive you with a small gift, but he is targeting the greatest. So be careful. Be careful now. Do not go for the targets of the enemy. So that's how the visitor happened to be in these people's house. And that's how this boy actually managed to chase the visitor. And that was the covenant. That's the reason they were poor. And this is what happened after it happened. After the visitor left, life changed abruptly. The boy goes back to the city. He's just sitting back and escorted the friends to ask for a job. The owner of the business comes from a different direction. People are lining up and asking for jobs, and they have like papers. He does not have papers. He just escorted his friends and he's still studying. He is just over there, and the man comes from his direction. He says, "Are you here for work?" And he says, "Yes." And he takes him and he gives him a job. And their life starts shifting and getting better immediately because of one visitor who left the house. So, what do we learn in this story? It's not too late to find out what is the root of what you're suffering. Ask your parents if you still have them. Okay? Why don't you guys get married in your family? Why is everyone poor in your family? Why do your family members die young? Why do you guys die young? Like, you have a limit of age, 38 years old, and you're dead. You don't exceed 40 years of age. There is a problem. So that is the story of the covenant. This blood covenant was made by two men who loved each other dearly. One betrayed another and tried to cheat. When he cheated, this followed his lineage, and it killed his children and grandchildren. And until one person was actually on the right side. And I've always, guys, told you, even if I'm not perfect, I know the right side is with Jesus. He is the only one who could literally deal with the spiritual things and puts them down. Breaks a yoke, breaks every bondage, breaks a covenant. Why? Because he gave a covenant of blood. That is why the covenant of Jesus can break every covenant. So a covenant of a hand is not going to break any covenant. A covenant of a human being is not going to go. So they tell you to go sacrifice people's children, and you go start carrying people's children on the streets and disappear them and start cutting their throat. Mate, you are ruining you and your future, and your children, your great children are going to suffer your curse. Be careful now. Do not do things just because you want to succeed. Do not cheat to succeed. Do not kill someone just to take over their offices. Do not kill your partners just because you found someone better and you don't know what to do with them. Do not kill your partners for money. Women, killing those men and poisoning them just because you want to take their wealth. You are ruining you and your future. And that is going, let me tell you, that is going to haunt you forever. There is never going to be happiness when you serve the enemy. There is never going to be happiness when you ask a gift from the enemy, because he has no good gifts to give. All his gifts are bad. So he's going to give it to you to blind your eye, just to take what is very important in your life. So whatever that you are suffering, you are not too young to break that. You are not too old to break that. You are not too old to break free. You are not too young to lose free. You are not too young to redeem your freedom. You are not too old to redeem your freedom. Fight for it. Ask your parents, if you still have them, ask them, what is wrong with us? Why do we have this thing that in our family? And some people are proud of these things. They know that their family, they're all drunkards. They drink a lot, and some died from drinking, and they're proud of that. They go to and they take like 5 bottles a day, and they be like, you know what? That is what my family does. I've grown in a family where people drink, so this is us, mate. This is what we do. Yeah. No, mate. That is a lie. That is a lie. It's because no one took a step to break that. So that is up to you who's listening right now. Stand up and break that yoke. You're going to be the savior of the family. You are the one who's going to notice that visitor in your family who is standing and who is ruining everything, who is stepping on your blessing. Okay? So after you know that, it's good to actually fight what you know. Why did I say that? Ask your family. Let them tell you a little bit of their history. For me, for example, in our family, they could die young, and the girls never got married. They had this spirit with them. Why am I talking about my family? My sister shouldn't come for me. My mom shouldn't come for me. And my dad is already with God. So, like, quarreling, they beat, and I've told you guys about that in my story. Like, go back and check my playlist and check out my stories. Whooping. I grew up seeing my aunties whooping their husbands, and they are strong, but they would beat them. You'd be outside and they're throwing a stone from out, and they're just like, and you're like on a battlefield, and you're taking off. That is where I grew. When my mom got saved and prayed, first of all, he broke the curse of them not getting married. They are so pretty, beautiful like I am. Maybe even better. I always say that my family is better looking than me. And my family, they think I'm better, but I'm not that better. So, they could not settle in marriage because they knew they were pretty. So, they would do, like, they would treat you like, what are you telling me? Disrespecting men and all that. And they could not settle in marriage. So that's one thing, like, my mom beat down when he got married, and he actually lasted. He never left my father's home. You women, these days, divorce. Today we ain't talking about divorce. Let me not come for y'all, but I've seen people who celebrate divorce, but honestly, divorce shouldn't be happening. Divorce happens because of things that I've talked about in previous. Desperacy, when you're desperate and get into a wrong thing. And I'll tell you a story of also, like, someone wasting your time when they are not the right person. That's gonna be actually tomorrow's story. So these things happen, and it just like waste our time. But we need to find why some things are happening to us and why they're not living, and we find solutions to them instead of like ignoring them. When you ignore something, it doesn't make it go away. I'll tell you that right now. You ignore something, it doesn't. Like, you get a wound on your leg and you ignore it, it doesn't go away. What happens? It gets worse and worse and worse. It could even actually kill you. So, it is good to ask yourself, what is wrong with me? Where does it come from? Some things are deeper than a behavior. Some things are deeper. It's a covenant, like the covenant I just talked about. Maybe there is something they did in your family that you didn't know about. The first episode of the story of that I told you about, like these people who were dying so young, but because they had killed a man in their family, a man servant, and they were dying, going crazy and dying until they figured it out and when you don't break that yoke, it's not going to leave. It's going to stay forever. So I hope that today you learned something. Today I hope you learned that you need to be careful when you make covenants. Actually, the only person you should make a covenant with is God, honestly, because He is understanding. You make a covenant with the enemy, you are opening a door to death and to your whole entire family and lineage. You make a covenant with a human being, things could go wrong, like the covenant we just talked about. Make a covenant with God, who can actually take care of you and take care of anything if it went wrong. Okay? You can make a promise because you know that can be fulfilled, but a covenant, it is deeper. Do not let anyone spoil you into making things that will actually cause you harm. You need to be careful. And then you also stop cheating. Stop cheating. Do not kill, like David. I'm gonna give you the example of David. You know what David did? David killed Uriah. Who they call Uriah? What would you guys call it? Uriah or Uriah? He killed Uriah because of Uriah's wife. And this is what happens. And one day I'll come and just be talking about idleness. David was idle. Uriah and everyone else in his soldiers go to the battlefield, and the king himself is idle at home, doing nothing, walking around his chambers. And that is what happens when you're idle. He was idle and he was walking around. And Satan uses your idleness to actually break you or bring you down. He's always there watching. So he looked at the king, because David did not think that he was going to be tempted that day. He was just idle. He refused to go to the battlefield and he stayed back. He was moving in his chambers, and the devil targets a woman in the bathroom, and the woman was showering naked. Ooh, men loves. So the king himself, he stops and he says, wait a damn minute. What am I saying, y'all? And this woman, beautiful, and taking a shower. And when he was taking a shower, David was tempted. And one of his greatest soldiers, Uriah, is in the battlefield battling for the king. And the king is taking over his possession. He takes over his possession, and this is what happens. Usually God lets you things happen so that you learn from them. He let the woman get pregnant. He was like, you will learn today. And some things are there for us to learn. So David sleeps with this woman once, and the woman becomes pregnant. And she becomes pregnant when the husband is away. So the husband would find out. And this is what our wise King David does. He tells them, the soldiers. He actually tells one of his soldiers this. I always love his name. And he was not so much of a good soldier. I think was Yoab. I'm saying it in my language. I think it was Yoab, but I am not sure. I think it was Yoab. He fought so many battles for King David. I think it's Yoab. Exactly. All right. I still got my Bible in my head. So it was Yoab. He tells Yoab, because he knew Yoab would do it. See the king trying to cheat. That is a covenant. Now we are talking about a covenant, and I am still telling you about a covenant. David is making a blood covenant that he does not know he's making. He says to Joab, put Uriah. Just listen to this betrayal of the king. This mighty man of God loves the king and he serves the king with his heart. But because David made a mistake, the same mistake this man did. He loved the woman, but the woman was pregnant, but he forgot about the covenant he had made with the other man. And this is the thing. We are not watching, but the two worlds are watching. The two worlds are watching. The kingdom of God is watching and the kingdom of the enemy is watching. The kingdom of the enemy is going to push you to do what you're not supposed to do. But the kingdom of heaven is going to try to protect you. But the thing is, we always be like, please don't talk to me. To the kingdom of heaven, please don't talk to me. So, David tells Joab, put Uriah in the battlefield. Put him in the spot where the battle is intense. Can you imagine? He tells him, put him, and we are not yet finished. Just listen to this. Put him in the middle of the battlefield where the battle is intense. And when he is there, get away from him. Like, take your protection away from him. Stay back. After you put him there, take back, like step back. And for Joab, this was a good chance for him because Joab loved killing people. He was one of those soldiers who was just there for whatever. So they took, but this is because of what had happened. He had made a mistake. He loved Uriah's wife. The wife had become pregnant. Now, he could do any solution. He could do anything, but he was greedy. He was greedy, and the reason people make covenants and betray covenants, it's because of being greedy. So you forget about the covenant and your greed takes control. So David let his lust and greed take control. He could have told the woman that, you know what, I'll speak to Uriah. Even if he would be betrayed, he would still have his life and he would take his wife. Maybe he wouldn't even have minded, but God is watching him. Every step he's taking, he's watching him. And the enemy is watching too. Uriah does what David says. They go to the battlefield. Joab puts Uriah in the middle of the battlefield and they forsake the man in the middle of the battlefield where it's intense. Just imagine, they do not tell us how Uriah died in the Bible, but I am telling you right now, he died the most painful death ever. Because if you're fighting with the enemy and they forsake you, your people forsake you, your enemies are going to hit you. Every arrow is going to come to you. And you know that these battles in the Bible, they were swords. How many swords do you think went through Uriah? How much pain, I'll say. How many pains? How much pain did this man feel and God was watching. Now, David did not know that this was a covenant, because the moment the blood sheds down, you've started the covenant, whether you like it or not. The moment the blood is drawn, the moment life is drawn, you have made a covenant. It is automatic. So they let Uriah die a very miserable death, and they come back to the king and they say it is done. Uriah is finished. Uriah is dead. And then King David takes over the possession, just like this man we just spoke about. He took the possession. And he forgot that there is someone watching him do all these things. And this is what happened. God sends a prophet to David. And the prophet comes and narrates a story to David. And he says there was two men. One man was a king and he owned everything in the world. He had everything he needed. He had so many sheep. He had so many, he had everything he needed. And there was this one man. He only had one lamb. One lamb. And it was all he had. But this man, the king, he took the lamb of this man and he killed it. And the prophet asked David and said, what would you do to such a man? And you know, David, he forgot that they are talking about him and his sins. And that's what happens with our greed. Even this man, after he betrayed the covenant, even if it's spiritual, after he betrayed the covenant, he took a step and took the woman who was pregnant and he took over the possession that did not belong to him. And that was a covenant broken. And David had made a covenant of breaking Uriah's trust and killing a man and shedding his blood, and murder is on his hands, and he's taking over the woman. And God is watching. When the prophet said that to David, David said, that man needs to be killed. And the prophet said, it's you. It's you, mate. You just forgot what you did, mate. This man, you have the kingdom. You could have any woman in the kingdom, but you were tempted and greed took over, and you took someone's wife, Uriah's wife. You did not end on that. You killed. And because when a sin comes, when a covenant is broken, sin starts building up, because now you have to cover up your trespassing. You have to cover up your death. You have to cover up your, it happens even where we live right now in those high places. They kill and they have to cover their traces. They have to kill more to keep mouth shut. They have to kill more. Greed, power, lust. It takes over. And before you know it, a covenant is made. And when it's made, it starts hunting down. And this is what happened. The prophet told David that's what is going to happen in your house. It reached a time where even God told David, you're not going to build a house for me because your hands are full of blood. Even if he was a man of God's heart, after God's heart, but he still had made these covenants and it did not wash them away. This stayed. They keep reporting to God. The blood keeps crying like the blood of Abel when he was killed by Cain. So this is what happened. David, the woman gives birth to a baby and the baby falls sick. David stops eating and he says, maybe God will hear me. Please heal my child. He loved this child so much, but the child was not to be born. He was a child of a covenant. Blood was shed and there had to be repaid. There is nothing you do under this earth, under the sun, that you're not going to pay for. There is nothing that you're going to do that you're going to walk away from. It is supposed to be punishable. It is supposed to be noticed. Like everything that you do, it has to have its reward. It happens. So David, he had taken life. It's a covenant. The blood of Uriah, even if the Bible does not talk about it, it still cried to God. It cried, God, God, God. And David is here like giving birth and rejoicing. And God refuses to answer to David, because the prophet had already brought the news. However much he repented, a reward had to be made. So the baby died. When the baby died, they thought the king has not ate until, because the child was sick. Now that the child is dead, how is he going to act? They thought he was going to act more, but he understood what he had done. He said, give me food. I said, give me food. The baby is dead. Just give me food. Let me eat food. But because he repented, God is faithful. He forgave him. Just this man. The reason why this yoke was broken, it's not because this man had repented. No, it's because this child saw what had happened. Just because you are not there, it doesn't mean it's going to get away from you, the curse of your family. Just because you are not there, just because you are not engaged when they were murdering, just because you are not included when they were taking life, it doesn't take the guilt, it doesn't take the curse from you, because it's generational. You have to take a step to break that covenant that was made by your family, so that you see a difference. in your life. Gotta see a difference in my life. Yeah. Okay, you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's story about a covenant. And I hope you learned something about actually what a covenant is and how far it can go and how deep it can go. So be careful who you make a covenant with. Be careful when you break these covenants that you make, forgetting that they have a reward. Be careful for the actions that you do in the world, remembering that they all have rewards. Remember that whatever you're doing, there is someone watching. Just because you don't see them, it doesn't mean they don't exist. That's what most people call karma. But for us who believe in God, He's the one who picked, because everything that's written in the Bible is true. It says what you sow is what you reap. You're going to reap what you've done. Or it's going to come to your children, or it's going to come to your grandchildren. When you're even far gone, and some people are selfish. They're like, I'll be gone. It won't happen to me. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? You want your kids to suffer? Please don't. Please don't. So, be careful when you make things like abruptly without knowing. Be careful when you take lives. Be careful when you cheat where you are in your marriages and all that. That thing will haunt you back. Just because it doesn't happen immediately, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen in the future. So just be careful. Let's continue being good. Let's continue being kind. Let's continue learning here with stories. And tomorrow I have a very beautiful stories for my girls. So come back, y'all. Same time here, and go straight with my recent stretch. I'm gonna be posting more because I want us to grow and and be big and like help others. Share these videos, let them go to your friends, to your family, so that like people know what these things are. Some people don't even know, you don't know what's happening, you don't know why it's happening. But when someone speaks something and it comes into your mind, you're like, okay, let me actually ask my parents like why I'm going through this. Let me actually talk to someone. Let me actually maybe kneel down and just call to this God they say exists, but I don't know He exists. Let me try to talk to Him. There are people who have encountered God without being preached to. They just ask Him and He comes to them. So you do that. I always say, do not say it doesn't work before you try it. Try something out before you actually push it away and see if it works for you. Just give it a try. You guys give women a try. You know that woman is a fornicator, but because she's pretty and she has nyash, you run so fast. And so that you want a chance. You give a chance every day. Why wouldn't you give a chance to your life and to God? Just be like, let me give you a chance like I've given smoking a chance. Let me give you a chance like I've given alcohol a chance to take my problems, but it has never solved them. But it makes me feel better. Let me give this God a chance. Let me give a Bible a chance. Go buy it on Amazon. Bring it in your house. Open it. Just read. Go through. Something might speak to you. Give it a chance. All I'm saying, give God a chance. And also, be careful with everything that I've said. Let me go through some comments here and see if you guys have some comments. I'm gonna stay for just a few minutes and I'm gonna run away. I'm tired, y'all. You can see from my eyes, I've been out all morning and I woke up so early. Leave a like, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, comment if you haven't, and share these videos. I'm just gonna go on the live and see if I have some questions, because usually when I go here it's weird. It just makes me feel weird. So I just go here and just respond. And when I know you, it's because you're dumb and I don't have your time. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Honor. And Kamas, that's because I don't know who you are, mate, but you probably have a problem. Because in everything, if you think what I was saying is witchcraft, that means there is something behind you that's like, you need to work on that, honey. Because me, no witch. Me, a child of God. I'm just not perfect. I'm still working on myself. I'm not here to show you that I'm perfect. I'm just here to share what I know and what I've seen and letting people know things like this and they go and experiment them in their lives. Some have seen them. So do not waste my time, camels. And it's always the guys with the weird names that don't usually make sense in life. Okay. Let me see. Do you guys have any questions? I just want to stay up and just answer some questions. I want to do a Q&A. I want to do a Q&A. I don't know when. Do you guys want me to come up with a Q&A live where I come, you ask me questions? Oof. I am so tired. I'm gonna run. I have a test coming up. I have to prepare for it. But I love you guys a lot, so I don't want to be like away from you. Hit me with some questions. Hit me with some questions. I'm down. I'm down to answer any questions before I go. I only have 5 minutes and I leave. Hey Dick, says he's Jamaican and he lives in Toronto. How you doing, mate? Thank you, John. I always leave a shout out to my boys and girls here. Thank you, Save Art. Oh, really? I love you too. They just speak with that. Ooh. I am actually so happy that you guys can actually notice that I have brown eyes, because I don't have like a pencil to put on my eyes, and usually that brings my eyes out. You guys have like really good eyes to actually see that. Your girl is crazy, yo. I just be singing in my head and just like moving around and I'm not saying anything. I'm just like, ooh, so much with me. Ooh, ooh, much with me. God forgive me, I'm just here. I just love you guys. I just be playing around with you because I feel like you're my family. So I come here to mess you guys up, to make you hungry and to make you happy. So I welcome everyone. I welcome haters. I welcome lovers. Everyone is welcome here at Build on Flex. Ooh. We build body and then we stretch and then we flex. So flexing means stretching and building means building. So we build faith, we build trust, we build bodies. I'm not worked out a lot. You see my hands, they're not worked out at all, but you can see that I've been working. I started yesterday and I want to be consistent. But I've been stretching with you guys. That has helped me a lot too. So that is important. Hit me with some messages before I go. So before you go, let me see if there's something else. Hit me with some questions, and to everyone that left gifts, thank you so much. Thank you for the gifts. I love you guys a lot. I am just too hot. When you see me like do the hair like that, it's too hot in here. Crazy hot. Okay. Give me some questions. Now that I'm even closer to you, give me some questions. I'm planning on doing some yoga videos this entire week. We have stretch day on Sundays. On Sundays we don't have story time. Story time is from Monday to Saturday. Sometimes we miss when I am extremely busy. But what is this? I want to start posting for members only stretches too. So show up. Oh, Joe. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I do not have any kids. I don't have any kids. I'm 27 years old. Yep. Yep. I don't have any kids. I love kids though. Kids are my favorite thing. They can piss you off, but they are also a peace of mind. Like, that's why I love children. Made some rose water here. Oof, hydrate. It's too hot. Cute. Do I have brothers? Do you guys want my brothers to show up? You guys have not watched my story time. I have one sister and I am the youngest. And I have nephews that I take as brothers because I've grown with them, raised with them around, and we call them brothers, more like they're my brothers. So I have little brothers. They're growing. They're flexing for those that piss me off so that they come and throw some hands and be like, don't touch my sister, no, that. They're young, they're still in school. They're still in school. And I take care of them. So when you guys support me, it helps a lot. That's why I'm always grateful. But I have a sister. And she's single. She's gonna kill me, y'all. She's gonna kill me. I'm going good. How you doing, Kenneth? I do lives every day. We have story time every single day. I'm gonna be here tomorrow too. The only times I'm not gonna be here is when I am extremely busy. But when I am not busy, I am here at night for story time. I need to be, because as we grow, and then we stretch every single day. So if you don't catch me in one live, you're definitely gonna catch me in the next live. And then on Sundays, we do live stretch class. You have to show up with your blocks and your mat. And we can stretch under yoga bands. And we stretch for 1 hour straight from 7 to 8. Sometimes I start 7:30. But that's because I am busy. Life. You get busy. So I don't usually have like the right time, but it's always 7:30 07. Yep. And we have 1 hour of stretching Sundays. Show up. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, I love that. Alright, yo. Let me go. Ooh. Alright. I'm gonna see you in the next. I'm gonna go do some upper body stretch because okay. Everything hurts so bad. What was I talking about? You're gonna have to watch this again because I'm leaving. Alright, final loves. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go stretch if you haven't. And then go to bed, and I'll see you here tomorrow for another story time. Some stories will take a short time, depends on the time I've started. Some will take longer times, but they're all here to teach us, and we're going to learn from each and every story. I love you guys. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you tomorrow. You take care, guys. We are leaving.